Welcome on in, everyone. It's time for your favorite part of the week. It's time for Tech Friday. Imagine fancy intro here, people dancing. Then it cuts back to me going, today on the show, Instagram forces AI down your throat. NVIDIA has trading cards now. The power of RSS. And I take another look at a digital DM screen. Let's dive on in. First up, if you didn't know, Meta, Instagram, now lets others use your photos for AI. Automatically. Isn't that kind of them? So, you can shut that off. Here's a Reddit post on how to do exactly that. Told your tattoo guy about the Instagram thing, helped him turn the setting off on his and the shop's account. Excellent. So, there's a Reddit post. You'll find a bunch of other things, but let's go over it. I hit the right button. There we go. So, how to opt out? Open the Instagram app, or you can do this on desktop. Tap your profile, 3-line menu in the top right corner. Scroll down to sharing and reuse. Not a common setting you think about. Open allow people to use your content on Instagram, and with AI features on Meta, toggle off. Turn off the toggles for both posts and reels. Also, if you put your Instagram account to private, that will also turn those off, but I would double check just to make sure. All right, moving up right along. NVIDIA now has trading cards for some reason, giving away Series 1 trading cards online and at an in-person event. This article is courtesy of Engadget. Why they're doing this? Who knows? Because they think that's value somehow when you're paying a lot of extra money for their cards. But here's the article from Engadget. I like this quote. While the card's launch was pretty badly timed, at least the company isn't selling them. They're more promotional materials than collectibles people can purchase. That's good. If you really want these, Summer of GTX giveaways on GeForce social channels, community events, all these things. And so, yeah, if you really need NVIDIA trading cards for some reason, you can get them. Yeah, sure. Why not? All right. Moving on, Word Fangirl, hello, thank you for the lurk, appreciate it. And Brian, Urban Bohemian, had this in their Discord. Electronic Freedom Foundation, EFF, has an article up about, hey, you should use RSS because you're not feeding a logarithm do the things. There's the article. And so it kind of goes over a kind of top level of what RSS is. That's easy to use. You know, find an RSS reader, collect your feeds, best way to follow news, and fixes some social feeds so you can follow your friends' posts on Blue Sky or Mastodon without actually having an account on either. But yeah, take a look. See where you can find RSS feeds. It'll be great. And of course, I have a recommendation for you. And if you've been here a while, you should know about Obsidian by now at obsidian.md. My favorite note-taking app and app of everything that I do. There is a RSS dashboard community plugin. You can see the GitHub there before you download it right out of Obsidian's community plugin manager. And it's fantastic. Lets you have RSS feeds right in your Obsidian vault. I use it all the time. It's great. And this show you're watching right now, Tech Friday, has an RSS feed. Every time I edit down an episode and put it into the YouTube playlist, the new episode should pop up in your feed. So here is the RSS feed. This isn't a link you want to click on. It's one you want to copy and put into your RSS feed. So it's a long link, but yeah, it'll put this very show you're watching right now into your RSS reader. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Let me set up a thing real quick, because we're at the DM screen revised, and I want to show this off. Talking about Obsidian, yes, the revised DM screen is done in Obsidian. A couple years ago, I made a video about digital DM screens, and I showed a few ways off of doing it, but now that I use Obsidian pretty much exclusively where it works, I came up with a new solution, and there's a couple ways you can set this up. So, go on in. All right, so here is my TTRPG product vault, all the stuff I've released for free. And here's my D&D 2024. Like, here are the README is just for, when I made it for people to download, they had instructions. But these are my notes, like actions, dash. And so these are things I needed. And this is all out of the free basic rules that you can get on D&D Beyond and wherever. And this screen is not on my vertical. Hold on a second here while I fix that. Why did this disappear from vertical? I don't know. This is a display capture. There we go. And we'll shrink it down a bit. All right. So yeah, this is the free basic rules. All right. So you can get it all for free. Yay. Anyway, you may notice that the tab is over on the right, or on the left here. Well, you can do that. Oops. If you go up to this little drop down arrow in the upper right, click on it, and that is a stack tab. So if I unstack the tab, that's normally what it'll look like. Kind of what you're used to seeing in your browsers. Tab right up there. But if you click the arrow and turn on stack tabs, your tabs go like this. Why is this useful? Because you can do things like this. Springleaf, hi, welcome on in. So I'll close those. And then let me turn on, oh, right, gotta go to bookmarks. Then was it open a new tab? Yeah. So as you can see, here is my digital DM screen. And if you have the stack tabs on in Obsidian, you can hold down Shift, scroll your mouse wheel, and it will do this. It'll flow back and forth between things. And if you notice over here, the ones that don't quite fit on screen are all collapsed. So if you don't want to shift and mouse wheel, you can just click on it and it opens right to that tab. Now I did this, as you can see, there's a little bookmark icon because you can edit the bookmark, all that, but you can bookmark your notes. And then once you do that and you have them all on screen that you want, you can create a tab group like I have here. Here's the individual notes of the D&D 5.5 DM screen. All I have to do is hit right click and say open a new tab, and it opens everything in this group automatically. Then we can go back to folder, we can go back to the folder view, and then, just click the X to get rid of all that stuff. But I have I made a fake little session thing here, and we'll go through some other features of this that I really enjoy. So that's your bookmark tab. Yay. You can bookmark the active tab. You click that, and notice here in this dialog box, this is where you can make the bookmark group. So I can add it to the D&D 5.5 DM screen, or I can, title it, make it say, oh, I'm sorry, this just selects the bookmark group. But yes, you can make bookmark groups really easily. And the thing you have to be careful of, though, is when you are initially doing this and you have your notes that you want, you're going to want to right click and say open new tab. You don't want to open to right, but you want open new tab, okay? And then you want to right click and open the next one in a new tab so you get both of them. Otherwise, if you just click, whatever one you're on gets replaced, and you want all these open. But if you make a tab group, you can just say, you can simply right click, open a new tab, bam, they all come up. And then again, you can do this in Obsidian, hold down Shift, mouse wheel, will take you over to things, and then you can, let go of the Shift and you can scroll normally. If you need to find something, well, you can go over here, and here's the outline for this. So I can just go to, I want to see what Utilize does, so I can just click it over here. If you have the outline view over here, which is right up here, outline of actions. So this is the actions note, and so I have the outline here. Then if I want the outline for artisan tools, I click into it. Otherwise, the outline doesn't change, keeps doing this. Now, if you want your session notes and your DM screen up, well, you can do that too. So you can either add it to the tab stack. If you right click and open a new tab, it'll automatically be added. You'll get this style tab. Or if you open to the right, when you open to the right, it kind of creates a separate little instance in a way. that's not quite the right word, but creates a separate little thing in Obsidian, and you can see how the tab is now up here. And if I want to, I can hit the little down caret and stack the tabs here. So say I have monsters or whatever, but now I have my session notes full screen. Hide that, and then you can hide that. I have my session notes full screen, and then I can go over here and then again hold down shift and scroll through my DM screen. Now I use tabs to do this. You can also make a workspace that is a core plugin in Obsidian. All you have to do is go turn it on, right? It's in settings and core plugins right down at the bottom, workspaces, turn it on. And then you'll get this little icon here in the left. Let's turn on the dot. So right there. And what you do is you open up all your tabs you want in the workspace. Then you hit this button. You label the workspace whatever you want. And then anytime you go here and say, okay, open that workspace, it'll pop up. So you could use the tab option or the workspace option, whichever you prefer. I like the tabs, and that's just a personal preference. And once again, I can shrink the windows. So depending on your screen real estate, if this works for you or how you want this, like I would probably put my session notes in this tab group here if I was just using my laptop or something, so I could just scroll through everything. But I like this because I just have it all, the session notes are playing here. And clearly, this is the best session ever. There's monsters and balls and monster balls. So this will be the greatest session because there's monsters and balls and monster balls. But yes, this is the DM screen. And so this is just using text, what comes with Obsidian, nothing special. However, if you like, there are community plugins you can download. That'll give you fancy colors. You can also download different themes. So if you go to, I think it's appearance, you go to themes, you can click manage, and you get up all the themes the community has made. Here you can select one. I put a couple in as an example. So if you like the colors of one or the other, so the ITS theme gives you kind of this red, let's see what the light looks like. Ooh, nope, staying with dark mode. So you can see how this changes how these look. So if you prefer this, or the soft paper theme, here, this is a pretty nice one. Then you can see how it gives me all sorts of different colors on everything and works the same, but it's a lovely theme. And then if you use community themes in community plugins, you'll probably want to download style settings because this plugin allows you to have options to change things around. So see how I have soft paper theme? The options appear here only because I have the style settings community plugin. So go to community plugins, search for style settings, download it, and then if the creator of the plugin gives options, they'll probably appear in the style settings tab after you download the community plugin. Go back to appearance, but back to default. So you can personalize it, give it color, do what you like. And then since these are markdown files, something should happen to Obsidian, I will always have these files because you can open a markdown file in any text editor that you have. All right, that will do it for Tech Friday. Bit of a shorter episode this week. So if you're watching the VOD on YouTube, that, trimmed down a bit, thank you for watching. There's a playlist of other Tech Friday episodes there, and you can subscribe button there or down there and click the like. That's the thumbs up icon. One of these. Do the things, and I will see you all in a couple of weeks for another Tech Friday. Thanks for watching.